Okay, next one. So I have sidetrack for a second. Let's say we have decimal 2.4 minus 1.68. If this was addition, you could just bring that 8 down, but because it's subtraction, you have to put something in there so we can borrow. Well, same thing about fractions. If I have an 8 minus 5 and 1/4, I can't just bring this 1/4 down. I have to subtract it from something. So this is another situation where you're going to borrow, and you're going to put the one that you borrowed over here as a fraction. And what fraction are we going to use for this problem? 4/4. Why? Because we already had 4 down here, so keep the same denominator. And what equals 1 whole when it's the same? 4 divided by 4 is 1, so there's your 1 whole. Okay. 4 minus 1 is 3. Keep the 4. 7 minus 5 is 2. Cannot be reduced. Okay, next one. You will notice that I have a 10 and a 7, and you can't take 10 away from 7. So this is a keep, change, change. Now, I have an addition problem, but I have one of each. And when you have one of each, you subtract. And when you subtract, you put the bigger one on top. So 10 and 1/3 minus 7 1/2. Okay, common denominator, 3. 2 can't go into 3, so we gotta find something bigger. So let's use 6. This expands by 2. 1 times 2 is 2. This expands by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, I can't take 3 away from 2, so this is going to be our borrowing one. So I'm going to borrow from the 10 and make it a 9. The one that I borrowed, I'm going to add on here. But this time I'm going to use 6/6. Because if these are already 6's, keep the same denominator, top number matches. 6 divided by 6 is 1 whole, which is what we borrowed. So these two together is 8/6. Because you had 2/6, we're borrowing 6/6, now I have 8/6. Leave it improper, we need it for subtraction. 8 minus 3 is 5, keep the 6, and 9 minus 7 is 2. And if you go back up here, 10 was bigger, it's negative, so it's a -2 and 5/6. Okay, this one here, I have an addition problem, but I have one of each. And when you have one of each, you subtract. Now here's the issue. I don't know which one is bigger. So I have to get my common denominators first. And I might have to flip-flop it to do the subtraction. So let's check. Common denominator, my largest one is the 6. And 3 can go into 6, so we'll use 6. This one stays a 1, but this expands by 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So since this is a subtraction problem, because I have one of each, I have to put the bigger one on top. So now I'm going to flip-flop. So I'm going to put 4/6 minus 1/6. 4 minus 1 is 3. Keep the 6. This can be reduced by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Which is bigger of these two? The 2/3 was, yes, the 2/3 is bigger, and it's negative, so it's a -1/2. Okay, I have a subtraction problem here, but I have negatives, so I have to do keep, change, change. And that's a -5/6, so it becomes a +5/6. Now I have one of each. Do I add or subtract? I subtract, putting the bigger one on top. I know the 8 2/9 is bigger because it's the only one with a whole number. I need a common denominator for 6 and 9. Now you could multiply these together and use 54, but you could also go smaller if you think of the multiples of 9. 9 times 1 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18, and 6 can also go into 18. So you can use 18. You can use the 54. It just will require you to reduce at the end. Okay, this expands by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. This expands by 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, you can't take 15 away from 4, so you have to borrow. This time we're going to borrow 18/18 because I want to keep the same denominator. This has to be the same number because 18 divided by 18 is 1, and that's the one that we borrowed. I had 4/18. I'm borrowing 18/18. That's a total of 22/18. Now I can use that for subtraction. 22 minus 15, and you can always move this under it if that helps you, is 7. Keep the same denominator, bring down your whole number. Which one is bigger? The 8, and it's negative, so your answer is -7. Okay. Here's your homework. And I'll see you at the next video.